Hey, Michael Bowen here, Florida Man Rides. Now, a while back, Richard asked in the comment section below, what the difference was between a car motorboat and an aircraft motorboat. And while I had too many other projects in the fire to answer this question, I finally got around to it. I sat down with my dad, Keith Pence, and we discussed it in long form discussion. That's what follows. Now, my GoPro, I was milking a dead battery and it died on me, so that's why there was a jump cut, and then we went to a different camera which didn't have as good a field of view as the GoPro does. All right, so sit back, enjoy the video. Feel free to comment on our discussion. Let me know where I was wrong. Let me know where you disagree. Drive the discussion. All right, see you later. See you on the other side. So basically, someone asked what the difference between a car motorboat and an aircraft motorboat was. And I've been thinking about it, and the best difference I can tell is the car motorboat guys just want more power, and they don't know how to adjust the balance between weight and power.
Well, it's weight to horsepower rating.
Right.
What it is. Where these engines here are anywhere from 240 to 300 horsepower.
Yeah, you're 240 to 300 horsepower for an aircraft, and that's really the max. How you can go up a little bit higher with a turbo, maybe some nitrous, but I mean, maybe some
just a ride boat, actual ride boat. Yeah. 300 is an upstack.
Yeah.
A regular 290 like this boat here is your standard 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
520, 470. They're around 260, 240, 260. But that motor there weighs 420. I mean, I don't even think it weighs 400. I think it weighs. What's the weight on a?
I looked them up. Your
dry weight on the.
Your Lycoming and your Continentals are about dry weight around 350 to 400 pounds.
350 to 400 pounds. You have a small block Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Even if you use an LS motor that's all aluminum, if you're using the LS motor that's all aluminum, you're probably.
Right, so what's the power range for a car motor?
A car motor, depending on what you want, is anywhere from to push a big boat or even a 13-foot boat, you need at least 350 to 500 horsepower.
Right, but the RPM range?
Well, and I can talk from experience. I've had motors that went from 1,000 to 7,000. Then the last boat that we had, I built it so it made its most peak torque from 1,000 to 6,000. And I did that all by camshaft, head, intake,
right,
and stuff like that. And that motor lasted and worked better.
Right.
But you have to go with an RB cam to make that. You got to have a special grind camshaft to get that power and torque down at a lower range. Also, you got to worry about torque.
Yeah.
Okay. On a car motor, you got more weight at the back of the boat.
Right.
You got a gear drive, you got a prop, you got a motor. So the boat's set deeper in the water, so that when you gas it, you have to get on the fuel hard in order to get the boat up out of it, and it wants to torque to the left side.
Yeah.
And see, that's called torque roll.
Right.
And, as in one of your other videos, you had you seen the Diamondback boat that had two propellers.
Yeah.
That is a counter rotator.
Right.
One prop goes right, one prop goes left, and it counter reacts that. But you're looking at something that costs about $9,000 for that counter rotator.
Now, does that neutralize all the torque roll out of it? Not all of it. Yeah.
Not all of it. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
But it don't take it all out.
So what I've noticed is the formula is arm, which is your length, times your weight equals your moment. All right, so your moment is your center of gravity down in the bottom of the boat, arm, weight, and that's the effect.
Yeah.
All right, so you're putting an extra 100, 150 pounds. The car motorboat still has to be the exact same height because you're limited on the prop.
Prop size.
Yep, so your car motorboat still has to be at the exact same height as your aircraft engine boat.
Correct.
You're putting another 150 horsepower or pounds up there, and you're adding a whole lot more torque. So whenever you're loping around, idling around, and I know you car motor guys, you love to And you do that, and you throw the rudder all the way to the left, and I think that's why you see a lot more car motor boats go down like that.
Well, you got to do with a car motor boat when you come into a stop because of the weight in the boat. Like on an aircraft, you have one, I have one.
Yeah.
I had a car motor. Well, aircraft, I can come right off the throttle and come right down to off a plane, and I ain't got to worry about prop wash.
Yeah, not as bad. Yeah.
Not as bad.
Right.
But you talking about that extra 150, 200 pounds back there. When that boat settles back down, if you don't have a splash pan, or even if you do have a splash pan, you have water roll. So you see a lot of the car motor guys, when they come off a plane,
yeah,
they'll give it that burp,
yeah,
or that rup rup. And what that does is it's bringing the back of the boat up and nosing the boat in.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they do it. It's just because of the weight.
Right. And I noticed, like a lot of the manufacturers are making the fuel tanks, bringing them down. That's also bringing that center of gravity down.
Yeah, if you notice, like I had high, like my last boat, my center of gravity. If you build a car motor boat, you need to get that center of gravity as low as possible.
Yeah.
I have this boat here. I built this boat because I built a lot of the same principles in it. The lower the center of the gravity,
right,
the better the boat rides.
Yeah.
My personal opinion. But if you have a hump boat, you want tall metal work because you want to be able to see over that. Yeah. If you notice a lot of the glade boats, the deck boats, deck over boats that you see from Okeechobee South, they have tall metal work on them.
Yeah.
And the reason why they have tall metal work is because they have to see over top of the sawgrass.
Yeah.
Sawgrass is 9 to 14 foot tall.
I know my back seat, Alicia is sitting on top of the engine. The back of the seat is on top of the engine.
Correct.
Your back seats aren't even that high. Right. And then I'm even, my front seat is still even with hers. So everything is up higher.
And that's considered what we call a set of hunt metal work.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the standard there. But when you're hunting deer or something like that, you run the boat, you want to see better.
Yeah.
But I built this boat here for a ride boat, and that's why everything's center of gravity is lower on it.
Yeah, I know. I classify in my mind, you got your hunt, your ride, and then your race. And then there's mixes of each, you know? Like,
yeah. Well, you can't have a ride race boat. There's just is
no. If you want to race,
you can have a fast ride boat.
Yeah,
but you can't have a race ride boat.
But you're
that's
right.
what we call the hunt class. When you go to the races and they say hunt class.
Yep.
That's what they got. It's a fast ride boat. What it is.
Yeah.
But when you get into serious racing, everything's lower center of gravity, big horsepower, big props.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It's made for to go do one thing, go from point A to point B.
But in your mind, I think like the aircraft motor boat guys, they gotta constantly work that power to weight ratio, whereas your car guys, the sky's the limits. Yeah. You know, the sky in your wallet.
How much your wallet is how much horsepower you have.
Yeah, the sky in your wallet is the limit.
There's boats out there that's same length boat as this.
Yeah.
That has a big block Chevrolet on it with a 2.68 with an 80-inch prop 3-blade. That boat go anywhere you wanted to go. My old boat I had a 355 Chevrolet, but I made 600 horsepower.
Yeah.
But it had 2-to-1 belt drive with a 2-blade prop, and when aircrafts were getting stuck, I could go around them. But it's just the horsepower.
And what about the fuel burn?
That's a whole different subject. Okay? I can ride this boat, you can ride your boat on 25, 30 gallons and go 70 miles.
Yeah.
And not even burn you might burn 3/4 of a tank, but that's about it. If you go 70 miles on an aircraft boat, you better have a spare jug on the front.
You mean a car motor?
Car motor boat. You better have a spare jug on the front because you're going to be running out.
So cars burn a lot more gas.
Burns more.
Yeah.
Now technology's come a long ways.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's talk about that technology. When car motors started getting put on airboats, they had carburetors on them.
Right.
Okay, just like a car. The old days, carburetor was on the car, regular points timing and stuff like that. Now you have electronic timing, you have hotter spark timing where like MSD
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You know, you're up there around 130,000 volt spark, and you got what they call EFI, electronic fuel injection. And since they've come out with electronic fuel injection, then what they do, they put an O2 sensor in the header, and it calculates the air-fuel ratio depending on the atmospheric pressure outside. And what that does, that changes the fuel delivery. So it helps out a lot. I mean, the fuel mileage has come way down. You can't get as good a fuel mileage on a car motor as you can an aircraft.
Yeah.
But you can get close. My old car motor boat, the same place we would run when your papa was running, and that, you know, he would burn maybe a half a tank of fuel, and I would burn a 40-gallon tank.
Yeah.
It's just what it was. But you know, there's good and bad. But reason why there's a lot of car motor boats out there, the cost of repairing them is less than the cost of rebuilding this. We're looking at $12,000 to $14,000 for a 290 or a 260 to rebuild it just to stock specs.
Right.
You can take $12,000 and make 700 horsepower easy. So that's the cost factor now.
Yeah.
Is basically washes out with by the time you build a motor and some type of gear reduction, the prop prices are about the same. Just depends like how big a boat you got. If you run a 3-blade prop, you know it's going to be more money.
What about gear reduction? I mean, I've seen the aux box. That's gear drive, right?
Yeah, there's 3 types of gear reduction.
Yeah.
There is a soft drive, which is a keyway. Aux box is a soft. I don't know if it's a soft drive, but it's a gear reduction.
Right.
But it's gear to gear.
Yeah.
So is a keyway. So is some of the other ones. And then you have what we call a belt drive.
Right.
It has like on the race cars, on the top fuelers, they have a blower belt. This is about 6 to 8 inches wide, and it's the same principle. It has a bigger pulley at the front, lower pulley at the bottom.
Right.
Whatever size that pulley is depends on your gear reduction.
Right.
You can get different ones in it, but on a aux box or gear reduction, you can change different ratios by changing the gears in the aux box.
And also
on a belt drive, you got what you buy.
Also, the gear reduction brings that center of gravity down. Otherwise, the crank for the car motor comes out the bottom.
Right.
Where the gear reduction brings it to the center.
You see a lot of the car motors lower in the boat.
Yeah.
Because it brings the gear reduction comes up and comes out a little bit higher.
Right, but even still, I've been looking at them, and still it looks like it's coming about the center of the engine where the prop's coming out. It's not shifting it all the way up to like the top of the engine.
No, it's coming at about the camshaft, where the camshaft is in the car motor.
Right.
At about the center line of the camshaft is where the prop is coming out of.
Yeah, so you're getting a little bit.
You're getting about 6 to 8 inches drop.
Right.
In that, and that's like you say, it goes back to the same thing again. Technology has come a long ways. Boat builders have come a long ways with car boats. Hammond, Diamondback is a big one. Panther, they built car motor boats for so long. They've got the niche down.
Right, but there's no gear reduction or belt drive that's going to get the engine down in the bottom of the boat.
Now you can get one of those, and it's called a Century drive. Mm-hmm. You can actually mount the motor down low.
Yeah.
And this box is super long in the sense of prop up.
Oh.
But they didn't use it very much because they were astronomical. They were about $10,000. But and I haven't seen one in a long time.
Yeah.
I seen that counter rotator one on that Diamondback boat at the races.
Yeah.
And see how it wasn't as long.
Yeah.
And that's how they've done it. They've changed it, lightened it up some.
Well, it seems like they're building the deck overs. They're lowering it down. They're lowering everything down. They're putting the tanks in the bottom of the tank, and they're just bringing everything down as low as they can on
Center
those.
of gravity. It's all about center of gravity. Even on a aircraft boat.
Yeah.
The lower the center of gravity, the better the boat performs.
Of course.
I'm not an expert, but I've owned both of them.
Did Clint have a bilge pump in his or no?
Yes.
He did?
On a deck over boat, you got to have a bilge pump because you do get water. Because when that boat sets, like in deep water, when we put it to port, the back of the boat's underwater.
Yeah.
So you have to have a bilge pump to pump the water out. That's why there's a hole on top of it.
I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I wonder if he does. I would think, like on our boats, I wouldn't want a bilge pump. I mean, you're running in the shallows. If you get too much water, you can pull up on the land and just drain it. But on his, you don't know.
Yeah.
You just, maybe you start to feel like you're riding heavy and you want, well, maybe flip on the bilge pump just to check it. Or maybe a 3/4 deck over or something like that. You can't see the back. You don't know how much water you're toting around with you. See,
right.
So a bilge pump might.
And that's why they're in there.
Yeah.
Almost all the deck overs or 3/4 decks have bilge pumps in them.
Yeah.
And a lot of the bigger boats, Diamondback boats, they put them in it, but I've never run one. If I can look back there and I got water at the runners, I'm gonna find me someplace. I either got a problem with I rolled it too slow, did a slow roll, or I backsplashed it too bad or something. That's the reason why I got water at the bottom of that boat. But I'm not an expert on it, but between me and you, we've been airboating for over close to 30 years.
Yeah. I've been doing it since I was 10, so that's 30 years.
Yep.
So, and I think we got the best looking boats we've ever had.
Yeah, that's for a fact.
All right, so that's it. I've been trying to get to this long form discussion for quite a while. Finally got around to it. The best thing to do is to just do what you're going to do. All right, so if you like that, give it a thumbs up, share it. Let me know what you disagree with, what you agree with, what you like, what you don't like. And hopefully we'll get back out there on the lake pretty soon. All right, see you there.